Hi guys, and welcome back to the Peugeot Vogue project, which we left a year ago, which is roughly when this footage was taken, about a week after we left off with the last video where I just got the bike running. Now, one of the most annoying niggly problems with the bike was the fact that the wheels made it look scruffy because the paint was peeling off in places. So, at the beginning of this video, I've brought the wheels to work and I've optimistically decided that I'm going to try and feather the paint back around the peely-offy bits, peel off any other loose bits, and then flat off the rest of the powder coat or paint or whatever it is and respray them to make them look nice and fresh again. Now, spoiler alert, it didn't go according to plan. The first job was cleaning and degreasing the wheels with the steam cleaner, which wasn't particularly effective, but I did find out the brake plate makes a good Catherine wheel. I'm using G101 industrial cleaner here. It's what we use for bus floors and things like that. It's good for dragging dirt out of things. It's fairly harsh stuff, really. I wasn't over impressed with just the steam cleaner alone. So I've stripped the front mag wheel off the Peugeot Vogue. It's looking a bit gnarly in there. So I'm going to go over it now with the wire wheel on the drill and take some paint off, do the same with the back one, and then reapply some paint. I can't film it unfortunately because I don't have enough space on my phone, irritatingly, or any way of holding it. I did try gaffer taping it to my car, but that didn't work either. But yeah, so there's 11 ball bearings per side. Sorry, 10 ball bearings per side. That's all I can tell you for the moment. Here's an example of what the powder coat's doing. It's sort of peeling off in sheets, so hopefully it shouldn't be too difficult to strip all the rubbishy paint off it and get that weird corrosion-y white stuff out from underneath it. I'm going to have to investigate that a bit more, I think. I'm removing the rear axle here. I didn't have the right tools to get the axle nuts off, so I'm using some slot lockers and a tyre lever to undo them either end. I'm inventive, me, like. If I'm dismantling an axle or something else with lots of little bits to lose, I tend to try and put it back together so I don't lose any bits and I know roughly what order to put it back together in. Very helpful, especially if things are going to be apart for a long time like this. The drive sprockets on this bike are so worn that I'm going to replace them both and the chain because they're just going to end up jumping otherwise. Unfortunately, a rear sprocket for this with the right number of teeth that fits these mag wheels took me 4 and a bit months to find and cost a ridiculous amount of money, but it's all sorted now. So this is the weird flaky corrosion stuff that's peeling the paint off. I imagine it's just water's got underneath and reacted with the metal, which I imagine has got aluminium and magnesium in it. So this is what they look like after I've cleaned them and picked away as much as I can do with a screwdriver at all the rough edges and things. No matter how much I take off, there always seems to be some more to come off. So I'm going to have to go for more abrasive methods, I think. So as you can see, we've managed to make some progress. All the bare metal you see there, when I took the paint off, it was all that corrosion stuff stuck to it underneath, but I've managed to bring it back with a wire wheel, a brass wire wheel on my drill, and it's worked quite well. Here we have the painstaking process of cleaning all the muck from the corners and difficult to reach places with a toothbrush and brake cleaner, and then having to dry it off again with a rag wrapped around a screwdriver. The idea was that when I paint this, then you don't want muck underneath the paint obviously, so I needed to get all of it off. Ultimately it was pointless because, as you'll see later on, all the paint needs to come off. Although this was a complete waste of time from a wheel refurbishing point of view, from a fume inhaling point of view, it was quite exciting. Right, I finally bought a tool to take the freewheel off with. So I've got it threaded onto the axle already. The nut is almost all the way down. There's a tiny bit of free play in there, just so that when it does start to undo it can thread off, but it should hold it down onto the actual freewheel with the 2 notches. The general rule of thumb is that these untighten in the way that they're slack and they tighten on the way that they bite, so that it sort of bolts it on as you're driving along. Now my dad's here, say hello.
Hi.
And he's come to the rescue with the right size socket. So let's see if we can actually get this thing off, hopefully. We may have to resort to violence. Let's turn it around a bit. And we're finally loose. So that should unthread now. There's the tool. It was fairly cheap, I think it was like £4 or something, but the point of it is I'm going to need it for the other Peugeot anyway, because that needs its freewheel doing. So I thought I might as well take this one off to paint it as well, and I can re-grease it and faff about with it. It's another day in paradise, guys. Glorious and sunny. And behind my seat here are some Peugeot wheels. I'm on a long lunch break, so I'm going to take them down there once I've finished vaping and get cracking on a bit more. So you're balanced in the tripod now on my bus. So the aim of the game for today is to get them cleaned and then masked off for either sandblasting at work or just straight to paint. I haven't decided yet. It depends how flaky everything is, and it depends on many other factors as well, how terrible they look. So for now I'm just going to use this fetching pink rag and some brake cleaner and the wire brush and toothbrush and things, and just try and get all this bit where the freewheel was nice and clean and everything else degreased and de-dusted, and see where we go from there. I'll spare you the details. Oh shit, it fell over. I've just made a start on cleaning this bit where the freewheel went, and look, nowhere's safe from the peeling paint. That was under loads of grease. How did it get corroded? Right, it's time to crack out the big guns, I suppose. So I've been going at these for about half an hour now. Here's the rear one, nice and clean. As you can see, plenty of paint came off. I'm still yet to clean out the brake lining on that one, but I'm not going to bother until after it's been painted, I don't think. I have tried cleaning out the brake lining with this one, but it needs wire wool, and I suspect the other one does too. Just noticed there's a dent in that race as well. That's not good. I'll have to see if I can knock that out. So yeah, I've come to an executive decision that these need sandblasting at work, I think, because even now there's loads of bits coming off. I've been at these for ages. I mean, this one, I've just been picking at it for 20 minutes and it's just still all coming off in sheets. It doesn't matter what I do, there'll always be some left. So I think the best thing to do would be get rid of all of it with the sandblaster. So that would be the next plan, which is a shame because I'm going to have to do that on Monday on my long lunch break at work, when I could have been painting them. But never mind, I'll eventually get it done. it's definitely keyed now. So it's the crack of dawn, 6 in the morning, and I'm already getting ready for my lunchtime wheel fixing spree. So I've just been to Lidl. I was after some budget paint for the wheels on the Peugeot, and I came across this stuff by chance in Lidl. I wasn't really looking for it there, but 2-in-1 includes primer. How exciting. So essentially it's white paint, but it was £3 a tin, and it seems to be fairly decent quality for something budget, so I thought we'd give this a go. So a lot of the places where the paints come off are difficult to get to with the wire brush, but still I've had to go with my Spid wire brush to see if I can get in there. I've taped it up on both sides. That's the brake side on the front and the other side, although the tape's coming off already because it's cheap Poundland tape. I've done a slightly better job of that one. Both sides. That's the thread there where the Freewheel goes on, and I've gone over that with the old Spid as well. And I was hoping to have a go at it with the Tommy Walsh branded sanding blocks from Poundland and get some more of this on. So as a bit of an experiment, I'm going to resort to the Tommy Walsh sanding blocks and see if they do a good job on nice straight flat bits like these, and possibly around the rim as well, and see if that can save us some time with the sandblasting. I think places like this are going to need sandblasting anyway, to be fair, but anything that saves a little bit of time on this already quite arduous job is definitely worth a go, I would think. So I'm afraid, Tommy Walsh, I've been working on this bit just here for about 5 minutes. There's quite a bit of dust on the sponge, yeah, it's a sponge sanding block, I know, and nothing's happened at all. It just keeps, the sand stuff, no, the stuff keeps coming off, but not that much that you'd think that it would have no effect anymore. There's still quite a lot on there, it's just not very abrasive at all. So, sorry about that, Tommy Walsh, but I'm afraid you get a big thumbs down for that. You need to go back to advertising Volkswagen vans. So anyway, just because we've got better lighting now than when I showed you in the boot of the car, that is after sandblasting, and I'll turn it over so the devastating effects of the sanding aren't apparent. That's before. So you can see it's roughed it up a lot, and you know, quite a lot of the paint's come off, but that's 2 hours work. So I now need to find some better sanding materials and go at it again. I'm going to try sanding the stuff that's been shot blasted just to smooth it off a bit, because I don't want it to be all kind of textured through the paint when it's painted. So I'll give those shit things a go again, and cross my fingers they actually make some sort of difference this time. These things have fared ever so slightly better on here. You can see where it's sort of buffed it up to a shine at the edge, and this bit's been done as well, just to see how it did on one of these straight bits, and it's alright. It feels less sort of porous, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend these. They're only £1, but that's a waste of £1. So get something better, guys. Not that you'll be doing it all with Poundland and Lidl things like I do. You'll probably do it properly, but I'm skint and I also have no time. I think we'll swerve this Tommy Walsh branded shit. Here we go. Okay, we're going to try a new method. So far I've been using abrasives and things like that to try and remove the paint with limited success, because I was worried about the magnesium content and the other metals in the wheel reacting with things. However, no expense spared, we're going to try Mr. Muscle oven cleaner, which I've heard good things about for doing this job with. It contains caustic soda, aka lye, which is the same stuff that we used to clean an exhaust in, a Punk Maxi exhaust, in a previous video about 1.5 years ago. It didn't do a great job then on what was basically steel and chrome with carbon built up on it, and I'm going to put a bit on there because, as I say, these are slightly more volatile metals, and that's a nice meaty bit of wheel in the middle there, so hopefully it won't damage it too much. Here we are then, guys. Mr. Muscle loves the jobs you hate. A little bit more. Oh god, look at that foaming. I hope that's not eating through the metal. I'll be severely pissed off if I come back in an hour and there's a huge chunk missing out of this hub, because these wheels are probably quite a bit to replace. Wish me luck. Okay, so I've done a couple of extra bits just to see if it works, and I've done a control piece on a piece of an old climbing frame. Hopefully it won't eat them. So here's the results, leaving them 2 hours in the Mr. Muscle. Let's see what sort of damage we've done to the paint, hopefully, and only the paint, but we'll have to see. I swear to God this isn't what it looks like. I've got a hose pipe. Okay, well, the first thing I'm noticing is absolutely no effect on the metal, but not particularly any effect on the paint either. I did only leave it on for an hour, so perhaps if I put some more on, we might be able to make an effect on the paint, but it doesn't look like it's going to destroy the metal. Like I was worried about some sort of reaction with it fizzing and making big holes in things or catching fire, and I think we're alright, so I'll probably add a bit more. Okay, we're going for it. It's all or nothing. I have a feeling it's going to end up being nothing, but we'll have to see, won't we? I do have a plan B if this doesn't work. So let's give it a go. Wish me luck. Okay, I've left it 24 hours this time. Let's get spraying. It all looks to still be there, that's good. And it hasn't really made any effect on anything at all, particularly. So that was a complete waste of time and money. The paint's not even coming off with a screwdriver any better than it was before. It slightly dulled the finish on the paint. That's essentially what it's done. I imagine we'd probably have to leave this in there for a week or two to have any real effect on it, and by then I suppose it maybe would have started reacting with the metal. So all in all, I think that the Mr. Muscle goes the same way as the Tommy Walsh sanding pads, with a big thumbs down. Okay, so I'm going to use this stuff. It cost about £2.70 I think from Wilko. I'll show you the back of it. So essentially it's benzyl alcohol based, and I'm just going to brush it on and then put the wheel in a bin bag, and then that allows me to leave it for a long time. I might do 2 coats with half an hour in between them, and then I can leave it in the bin bag, and it should hopefully stop this evaporating too much. That's the plan, and then I'll hopefully come at it with a wire brush or similar soon. Okay, so I've got my little paintbrush, and the idea is basically just to slather this whole thing with the thickest layer I possibly can of this stuff. I'm then going to try it out with a screwdriver and see if it's made any difference at all, and if it has, it'll be a second layer and into a bin bag for probably at least a week till I can get to it and do it properly. So yeah, there are other, I mean, the market leader of this sort of thing, paint stripper for vehicles, is Nitromorse, but it's expensive, and apparently it's been sort of reformulated in not such a good way recently to appease European pollution law. So let's go the cheap way, why not? Okay, so it's been roughly 40 minutes. We're doing the screwdriver test, and actually it's made a difference. You can see little bits coming off there. I don't know if that's the full extent of it, and you know, I'm just going to have to really go at it with a wire wheel, or if I leave it on overnight it might sort of liquefy it and remove it. We'll have to see, but I'm impressed that it's actually done something, because it's been so long I've been working on these bloody wheels. I'm ready for something good to happen, so I'm definitely going to give it a second coat, put it in a bin bag, and we'll see where we go from there. So we're 2 days later now, and I've had a chance to quickly get it out of the bin bag and see what's going on. And look at this, it's gone kind of rubbery, but sort of weak. It's sort of like a popped balloon, but not as stretchy, if you know what I mean. It would rather break, but it's got that slightly stretchy, elastic quality. I'm just talking bollocks. Basically, it comes off. How good is that? So anyway, I've thought of a quicker way to persuade it to come off. Let's try this out. That seems to work. So this is just a brass wire wheel, and it's taking it off really, really easily, which I'm very pleased at. So this is 5 minutes work with the wire wheel. Look at the difference. I mean, I couldn't have done that with just abrasives alone. I can't believe I didn't use this stuff to start off with. It's coming off. It's a bit more tricky in the corners though. I'm going to have to work on that. Okay, so it's the 15th of December 2018. I've been doing this for a year now. I'm working at Doncaster Racecourse today, and I've spent the whole time I've been here underneath the coach in the luggage bay, and look what I've done. That wheel is all but finished. I used a screwdriver to scratch off a couple more of the bits of paint that's still in the difficult to get to places where the white wheel won't go. But essentially, we have one done wheel, and this one, I know I said it about the other one, but I'm going to try and get away with not stripping all the paint off that because it does take a year. So, what have I learned? The best way to tackle this is to peel all the big bits off by hand, then get your wire brush like this one, preferably a brass one so you don't damage the surfaces. Take all the smaller flaky bits off with that, and then let me rummage around and find it. The next stage is to liberally apply the paint stripper, which I've been using this one from Wilko, which I think was about £2.70. I then put it in a bin bag and sealed it up and kept it there until I needed it, basically, so the paint stripper could do its stuff without evaporating. Then use the drill with the brass brush on it, and the little corners like that you can't get into, I've been scraping it off with a screwdriver, and that's the way.
Hello and welcome to my ASMR channel. This is my next wheel project, which is a set of Manic Corrado wheels which are going to hopefully go on a maxi. These are a lot easier to work on because the paint is so amazingly flaky. Also because they're TriStar wheels, there are less tricky corners with shitty paint to get out. So they're a lot less difficult than the Grimmicker wheels.
After the Corrado wheels are done, I've also got this devastatingly shit but very cheap set of maxi snowflakes to do, which, as you can see, have got lots of terrible corners. I'll leave you with my dad's thoughts on my video making skills. Thanks for watching, guys.
I thought of something as well. We need to get you a tripod so when you're doing your videos, instead of it going like this and you're looking at the floor half the time,
I know.